Hi, my name is Katie Becker, and today we had assigned 2 videos and 2 articles. The videos were on the informal economy, and the articles were associated with religion, civic engagement, and then care. So for the first video, The Power of Informal Economy by Robert Neurath, he talked about how there's a word the French uses, System D, and which is usually called the informal economy, and it's called this because everything is happening right in front of your eyes in the open. Governments typically don't like this kind of economy because they don't have a direct association with the businesses, and he goes on to talk about how these economies are a pickle problem, in which we are all focusing on the luxury economy and not so much as the informal economy and all the small businesses that are happening through there. And he talks about how this is a problem because about 2/3 of the workers in the world work in this informal economy. So by focusing on the luxury economy, you're excluding those 2/3 of the people. And this is another problem because projections for the future think that the bulk of economic growth is going to happen from emerging economies, and so by ignoring that now, you're ignoring 2/3 of the emerging economies, and it could potentially take over the U.S. And then he gives specific examples like Procter & Amp and MTN, which is a mobile phone company in Africa, in which products are sold where people are unregistered through System D, which is the informal economy, and this is happening because it's easier to get the products out to people who are unregistered, but this is also how pirated videos or pirated products happen. And he ends his TED Talk by thinking that Gov is a social contract between the people and the government, and that the world is blaming the little guy in this example, the informal economy, that doesn't pay taxes, rather than focusing on large companies, the formal economy, in which they're doing the same thing. And he ends with a statement saying that this economy is a force for global development. The second TED Talk was by Diana Enriquez, and it was Lessons from the Informal Economy. And she starts off by saying that she has been working in smaller communities trying to define a line in between formal and informal economies. She gives an example that in India, 84% of employers are working in the informal economies, just to give a range of how important or how many people actually work in that business. And she says that they can range from small to large being an example of the Mexican cartel. And then she gives us 3 examples of these informal economies. So in the U.S., there are undocumented people, around 11.7 million undocumented immigrants that carve a part out for themselves in the economy, such as construction workers or working in the service industry, and that people usually overlook them in the U.S. just because we don't realize the work that they're doing until they're actually gone. The second example that she gave was that in Yemen, in hard times, informal entrepreneurs locate their businesses in areas that strategic locations around the city in which the demand is needed, such as gas in a natural disaster. They'll put up a cheaper price and a faster time to get it done, which makes it more attractive to people. And then the last one is the difference between Airbnb and One Fine Stay, in which Airbnb is looked down on because they're not in touch with the government as much. But she doesn't understand the difference between the two, because even though One Fine Stay can be seen as a luxury and they're more have a better relationship with the government, they're both doing the same thing. And she says that the reason why informal economies are usually associated with black markets is because these products and services happen in the background of life, not in front of everybody. And they may not keep as much records as the formal businesses in the formal economy may. And but the better thing about informal businesses is that they operate on a local level. And she ends the discussion by leaving with two questions: who makes the rules? And for those who make the rules, do they make the rules in interest for only a small group of people or for the community as a whole, or many communities? For the two articles, you had to purchase the articles, so I only read the abstracts for them because that was the only thing that was available, and I tried to grasp the ideas of it. So, for the article, what is a transformative approach to care and why do we need it? So, care is commonly associated with love and duty, but it's also seen as associated to women, as only women can have care. It's seen as like an emotional side to it, and it's associated with like feminism. But these associations have effects in shaping different policy agendas and institutional responses to care and work. And so they're saying like these definitions of care in the feminist world, it stems from feminist philosophies, feminist economists, and how this article aims to show how different understandings of the word care affects the ways policymakers approach issues. And that this article is aimed to challenge how the care work is usually associated with females and lesser important than like being productive in work. The last article, Religion as a Path to Civic Engagement, talks about how global citizenship has always dreamed about coming west, but their religion is rarely seen as a popular contributor to its emergence. So the article aims to connect between religion and politics across the borders and see how citizens of the world actually think about these issues. Some examples would be, how does religion like fit into the rights and responsibilities of global citizenship, and who benefits from them? And the common aim of this article, as stated in the abstract, it says like a small group claims that religious global citizenship and like a small amount of people are only concerned with helping themselves and not with the religious global citizenship. But the aim of this article is to prove that the majority are open to partnerships in major social issues. So this was the videos and articles for week 4, and I really thought I got a good grasp on these understandings. I especially like to talk about informal economy, because I didn't know much about how 2/3 of the people in the world work in informal economies, and I kind of did think of it as a black market, but after watching these videos, it helped me grasp like a larger understanding to the informal economy and how it's just as important as the formal economy. Thank you.